What's up, Geeks and Gamers? Mike and I are back once again with another movie review, and today we're going to be talking about *Malignant*, James Wan's new movie, which just hit theaters today. And I just want to get this right off my chest because this is pretty much my reaction to the entire movie, and then we'll go from there. What the actual F did I just watch? Mike, I'm going to hand it over to you now. What did you think about *Malignant*?
What the actual F is that movie, bro? Listen, the credits rolled and I sat there for like a good 30 seconds and I just looked at Josiah. I was like, what do I just watch?
Yeah.
Like,
I was kind of shell shocked. I was like,
yeah, dude. I didn't watch any trailers. I had no idea what this movie was.
Mhm.
I knew it was James Wan. I knew it was supposed to be a horror movie. Dude, from the very beginning, the movie starts out as a super stereotypical, super like obvious, like very tropey horror movie. And I was like, okay. And then like literally the next scene after the opening, the house, you can see the smoke that they put into the house. You can tell that there's going to be jump scares. There's constant music cuts, everything all the time. I mean, it's so tropey and the acting is so bad.
so
The acting is
bad.
like B movie. Like we had $100 to go between like 80 people and we just spread the budget. Like it's bad.
The dialogue was awful.
The dialogue is terrible.
Like some of the worst dialogue I've seen this year.
I gotta give a credit to all the actors. Nobody feels like they're not trying. Everybody feels like they're giving it their best. Listen, the lead actress, I don't remember her name right now, but the lead actress committed to this. She was in it. She believes what's happening. She's giving it her all. And this movie does not go from 0 to 60 in 100. In 0 to 60 in like a second. This movie goes from like 0 to 60 to 1,000 over the course of almost 2 hours. There's a twist in this movie. It's one twist. Mm-hmm. And if you know the name of the movie, you'll see it coming because you'll remember, oh, wait a minute, the name of this movie is *Malignant*. And you'll be like, no. And then they do it. And when they do this twist, it is not an M. Night Shyamalan twist. They don't try to be clever about it.
Yeah.
They literally tell you what's happening. And the movie loses its ever-loving freaking mind. This movie literally has one of the craziest set pieces I've ever seen in a jail. Listen, the cinematography is solid. The music is okay at times, but like, dude, this music, like sometimes it has like 80s horror vibes, and then other times it has like
it was
this
just
like
all over the place,
orchestra
dude.
swelling thing.
So all over the place.
It's a mess. The monster in this movie is something I've never seen in a movie before.
Dude, absolutely wild.
Wild.
The weird thing about this movie is that it feels like one of the laziest made good movies I've ever seen. Yes. Like it felt so freaking sloppy, but at the same time, it felt like it was like a B movie wrapped in an A movie. It was super weird, and it like the entire time I was watching this movie, I just was so conflicted with how I felt about it. The entire time I was confused, I was like bewildered, I was amused, I was just all over the place, and I didn't know exactly what I was supposed to think about what was going on throughout this entire thing. It was one of the weirdest WTF movies, and I've seen a lot of crazy movies like Midsummer, The Lighthouse, all of these crazy movies, and this movie might just take the cake as the biggest WTF movie that I've seen so far. It's like it felt like James Wan was intentionally trying to make like a bad movie.
Yes, it absolutely did.
Yeah,
I'm like, did James Wan just fall off? Like, did he just forget how to make a good movie? He didn't, because I'm gonna be honest. I know Josiah was confused, and I could see it on his face.
Yeah,
about like if I broke this movie up in like quarters, about like just before the halfway mark of the movie, I started laughing. I figured it. I was like, no, this has got to be a joke. And I kept laughing because I was like, it's got to be a joke.
Yeah.
And then the movie literally, it never tongue in cheek. It commits to the plot. It takes it all very seriously, but it has to be a joke. There's no way this movie was not set out to be a joke.
There's no way.
Like, I can't even tell you guys, the twist in this movie is so bizarre. It makes no sense. And then the movie just steps on the gas and you're like, wait a minute. And you're like, no. That wasn't, you're like, I thought our exit was over there. And you're like, no, buddy. We've got a lot more road to go. And it does. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, there are superpowers in this movie.
Yeah.
There's like gore in this movie.
There's pretty much every horror cliche you've ever seen.
Every horror cliche, every horror trope that you can think of is in this movie. But you know what it doesn't do? At the very end of the movie, it literally just ignores all of it. And then, like,
oh my goodness,
it tries to end on like a sentimental, sweet thing. And you don't even go, like, you can't go, you didn't earn that. You can't go, wait a minute, what was that? You just go, you know what, man? Just have it. Like, just take it. I can't do this anymore. I don't even know what's happening anymore. Like, it ignores everything. Like,
dude,
this movie is bananas. I just don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, it's actually really hard to talk about because of just how pivotal the twist is in the movie and stuff.
Yeah. And like I said, some of you guys will see it coming a mile away.
Yeah.
But you won't see it coming when it happens because the way it happens is
it's so bizarre and
it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so nuts. I'm gonna say right now, of all the horror movies I have seen, of all the movies I've seen this year, I haven't laughed as hard as I did at this movie. I laughed all the way through it. I was losing it. And then it was like about 3/4 of the way through the movie, everybody else in the theater started laughing. And then we just couldn't stop.
No, dude.
Dude, everybody just started losing it because we're like, oh my God, dude, what is happening?
Yeah.
Dude, there is a straight up, I'm like, this is kind of a spoiler, but not really a spoiler. So whatever. There's literally a kung fu, gun fu, bullet dodging fight in this movie that comes out of nowhere, and it is actually executed surprisingly well. It's not crappy, it's not jump cutty, it's better than a lot of other scenes that are trying to do this correctly. But it's in a horror movie.
Well, that's what I meant. Like, technically speaking, from a technical standpoint, this movie is great. But like the plot, the story, the dialogue, the acting, all those different things are just weird. And it's just like, I don't know. Somehow, I mean, the funny thing about that is that if you actually know kind of what the twist of this movie is, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense that because I was about to say this movie basically takes two completely different styles of movies and just kind of smashes them together.
Yeah.
It makes sense with the whole point of the movie. So when you guys see it, I think you'll understand what we're talking about, where basically, like, literally taking two different types of movies, smashing them together completely goes with the twist in this movie.
Yeah. It's like a blend of Jeepers Creepers, like the original Jeepers Creepers, meets, I don't know, something like
The Ring or something.
Like The Ring. Yeah. Something like that. Like, it feels like it's supposed to be this deep psychological scary horror movie, but then it also does this like slasher flick at the same time, and it commits to both completely. Like,
completely.
Okay. So before we keep going off the rails, because this movie already is off the rails. Please go see this movie. If you are a diehard theater person and you're like, I won't watch HBO Max, or I don't have it, or it's not worth it, or I want to support my local theater, you will have a good time going to see this movie because it is so stupidly ridiculous. Do not go into it. It's not scary. You're not going to this expecting a horror flick. It is literally a batshit crazy movie that is committing to its batshit crazy performance and treating itself like a horror movie. If you're not, and you're like, I don't want to waste my money, I don't want to waste my time, if you have HBO Max, go watch it on HBO Max. It is worth a watch. You're gonna have a good time. Listen, if you drink, if you smoke, go smoke and drink before this movie because you're gonna have a blast.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
Literally,
yeah.
I don't drink, I don't smoke. I still had a blast. I can only imagine if I was high or I was drunk or I was both, that I was gonna even have a greater time at this movie. But seriously, guys, like, go watch this because I want a sequel to this movie so badly. I want James Wan to keep going with this concept. It's so weird.
He weirdly enough leaves it open for a sequel, and I'm just like, bring it on. Let's just do it.
Dude,
Let's just
that's exactly it. You resign yourself to it because the way they set up for a sequel is so stupid. You're like, how would you do a sequel? And they're like, they literally tell you, like, they're like, hey, this isn't over, and then the main character is like, I know. And you're like, what do you mean it's not over? Like, this is the first time I grade movies A to F. As a horror movie, F. Movie trash. If I came into this movie expecting to be scared, F. You lose. Good day, sir. But as a movie going experience, did I have a good time? Did I enjoy myself? Did I laugh repeatedly? Yeah. So I give it a B+.
That's so funny because I'm gonna give it a B+ as well because I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. We pretty much said what we need to say, and
I have one last thing to say.
Yeah.
What the literal fuck happened in this movie? I gotta hear. You guys need to go see this because I gotta see what your thoughts are. I gotta hear you guys' thoughts. Like, I gotta know. Write them in the comments. Tell us what you thought about this movie because I can't be alone in thinking that this thing is like this weird outlier of fun and bad at the same time.
I mean, like you mentioned, in the theater that we were in, pretty much everyone was kind of, you could tell that they were kind of going through the same journey that we were. At first, they were like, what's going on? Like, what? and then as the movie progressed, people just started to laugh more and more and more. And by the end of the movie, everyone was like, what the fuck?
Like, nobody stuck around. The movie was done. Nobody stuck around and were like sitting in their chairs. They just got up and left. They're just like, okay.
So yeah, I agree. Definitely go see this movie. It is an experience. It is a trip, and I think it's well worth the watch. So we hope that you enjoyed this review for Malignant, and we will catch you in the next one very soon.